Remember when Jim Henderson said hell froze over 16 years ago? Well, apparently it's happened again. I'm not talking about the Saints in the Super Bowl. I'm not talking about the ridiculous weather outside. We're talking about preseason 60-1 and 80-1 shots making it to this Super Bowl, Super Bowl 60. That's right. The New England Patriots used the second half blizzard and some questionable decisions by your former coach to make it to their 12th Super Bowl, while the Seattle Seahawks were, well, they were simply the best team of the weekend. And they head to Santa Clara for their fourth appearance in the big game as we have a rematch of Super Bowl 49. What do we think of Sunday's games? What do we think of yesterday's games? What do we think of the matchup coming up in 2 weeks? And what do we think of the morons who think it was rigged? Yeah, we rigged it to get Seattle and New England in the Super Bowl. We have plenty to discuss. And, oh, yeah, not only is Lane Kiffin the king of the transfer portal, but he's also the Grand Marshal of Mardi Gras' biggest and best parade. I'll tell you what, you turn up the heater one more notch, and I will crank up the Dattitude podcast, which comes up next.
If you're looking for the latest scoop and in-depth interviews on the Saints, the NFL, the Pelicans, LSU, along with the best bets of the week, then lucky you. Along with high-powered, in-the-know guests who cover our teams, Jim Derry brings plenty of Dattitude. And he'll always tell you the way it is, or at least the way he thinks it is.
Where are you at, Dattitude family? I am giving the warning from the get-go, okay? I am letting everyone know from the very beginning that I am in a feisty, kind of fired up mood this morning. I don't know if I didn't get enough sleep or because I can see my futures on the Patriots going down the drain because I just don't think they're going to beat the Seahawks. Or maybe it's the people on social media. Social media has pissed me off all weekend. I don't know why even read the crap. It's maybe it's the conspiracy theories. I don't know what it is, but I'm pissy. It should make for a fun and interesting Dattitude episode number 468 presented by Evangeline Securities for a Monday, January the 26th, 2026. Already the final Monday of January. People are just effing stupid. I'm serious. They're just stupid. People are stupid. They're just dumb. Does anybody read this crap? Or I hope nobody's along with these idiots. I hope none of my Dat family members are along with these morons. Okay. I am your crotchety host, by the way, Jim Derry, 35 plus years on the New Orleans sports media scene. That's another thing. My eye is bothering me. I'm hideous. Don't look at me. This thing under my eye. I mean, what is the deal with my eyes the last 6 months? I had one on the other eye, on the eyelid, and now it's like I'm getting one under here, and it's, I don't know. It's always something, dude. Always. What is on today's show? A whole lot of whatever we want. I hope y'all, if y'all are fired up like I am today, tell me, maybe that should be the poll question. Maybe the poll question should be, why am I in a pissy mood? Let's see. Do you know what's special about today's show and every other show for that matter on Dattitude? We are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No, that's not special, live at 11 a.m. Central Time. What the special part is, you talk to us, we talk back to you. You know what, if you're a regular, you know what Monday is. Monday is Mono-y Monday. It doesn't matter if it's a Saints Monday or if it's some regular Monday in January or a Monday in May or whatever. Monday is always Mono-y Monday. It's me, it's you, it's Gabe. Every now and then we have a guest that's something really special. The last time we had a guest on a Monday, I think, was right after Brian Kelly got fired. That turned out to be a good day for a lot of people. We're going to talk about Lane Kiffin, talking about what's on the show. Lane Kiffin is, we're not going to spend a ton of time talking about Lane Kiffin. And I joke that he is the Grand Marshal of Endymion, so now he's royalty too. But this dude, look, I wrote something on, and here's another thing that got me fired up. Some idiots responding. I'm trying to give the dude as big a compliment as I can give. Okay, I'm still not. I'm going to be straight up. And we'll talk about a lot of things today, but I am still not 100% sold on Lane Kiffin. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I'm not sold in the fact that I think that he might do a good job for a couple years and then leave. Okay. I hope I'm wrong. I hope 5 years from now we're sitting here and he's got his house and, whatever. And you can tell he's not going anywhere. And LSU's won 2 national championships and has been to the playoffs 2 other times. And they're still the kings of the portal. And this dude is what look, he's making it fun for sure. And there's no question. This has got to be the greatest transfer portal class in the history of the transfer portal. So I guess I'm trying to give him credit for what he's done so far, because what he's done so far has been absolutely fantastic. But yet I'm here and I don't know what it is. There's just something that's still, and it's not because I'm feisty today. So anyway, I put on Facebook, I think. I didn't think I put it on Twitter or X or whatever the hell, you know what I mean. I put on Facebook that I give him credit for what he's done so far, but I'm not, I'm putting one toe in the water. I don't even have a whole foot in there yet. I'm certainly not putting both feet in. I'm not diving in. And I know a lot of y'all were giddy, gaga, goo-goo. Lane Kiffin's coming here. But look, I'm glad he's embracing it. This is another example, and I'm going to give him credit. Again, he is embracing the entire situation, and now the Grand Marshal of Endymion and embracing it. We're going to talk about that later this morning as well. Gabe's got something to tell me. Does anyone expect me to be sold? The dude hasn't. I know. But yeah, I think people do. Yeah, Gabe, people do expect it. And I know you don't. You're way higher on Lane. Gabe, we'll talk about this later. But Gabe is one of the guys that's high on Lane Kiffin. But I'm not going to go goo goo gaga for a guy that. Let me see you coach a few games first. All right. One thing's for sure about this LSU team that's coming up, and this is definitely a good thing after last year. It's going to be a completely different team. I mean, there are only going to be a few people left over from before. I mean, you're not going to reckon if you haven't been paying attention to the portal and you don't pay attention in the summer, in the preseason, you're going to have a lot of new names to learn. Okay. So, and again, that's a good thing. So anyway, let me know what you think. Even if you're watching after the fact, you know how to do this. Plenty of comments in the queue. I'm going to get to some of them in a second. That's how we're going to start. Oh, we can start whatever way you want. Whatever y'all want to talk about first, we can talk about it. I'm going to get into, as I usually do, I do not look at a single comment until it's time to get to that part. Okay, so whatever y'all want to talk about first, we can. But I'm definitely going to spend a majority of the show this morning talking about the Super Bowl. And the poll question of today is this. Okay, by the way, you can before I get to that, I'm supposed to tell you, by the way, if you want to listen to it, you don't want to watch the show live, you don't have time to watch live, you're like a normal person and you work during the day on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can't like sneak out and, you can only watch during lunch or whatever. You want to listen to the show after the fact, you can always find us on YouTube, Facebook. It stays here after it's over. You can comment. We'd love you to comment after the fact, or you can find us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast, many more. Find me on X at Jim Derry Jr., email at jim@jimderry.com. Please, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the show. I am not always this feisty, but yes, sometimes I am. And the DAT memberships, we've had some new members, and we appreciate. We just opened up the memberships last Wednesday. We've got quite a few. The Slack channel, I have not checked it this morning, but we're having a little fun on there. That's our way of messaging each other. All the members have access to our Slack channel. So there you go. If you want to become a member, please do so. We would love you to do so. Today's poll question is this. Before I get to business and before I open up the comments, is this. And I meant to put it on, let y'all vote, but we're just going to vote on here today. Today's poll question is, do the Broncos win yesterday if they had Bo Nix? That is the question of the day. Do the Broncos win if they had Bo Nix? And I'm going to tell you that I think I'm going to be the first one to respond to the poll question. I think the answer is no. I'm going to tell you why. Don't get me wrong. Jarrett Stidham didn't play well. He had one good drive and that was it, and they scored a touchdown on it and whatever. I think Sean Payton spit the bit. Maybe I'm putting too much on Sean Payton. You could tell me if you think I'm wrong. Okay. First off, I think yesterday is a completely different game. One decision. Now, he made multiple decisions I think were wrong. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But one decision in particular, I think changed the entire game, and I think they win. I don't usually say one decision in the first half can change the outcome of a game, because so many things, even if you change that decision, then the game doesn't play out the same. The other team plays differently. Your team might play differently. So I'd say 90% of the time, a decision you make in the first half is not going to change the outcome of the game. However, I think in this case, I think is an outlier. I think there's a decision that Sean Payton made yesterday that changed the outcome of the game. And it's not just Sean. I know a lot of people would do this. I don't know what Mike Vrabel would have done if he was in the same situation. I have no idea. I can tell you this, though. I think it was only 4th and 1 or it was 4th and 2. I can't remember. Whatever it was. And Denver was close. So it was not it wasn't a ridiculous decision. Okay. But the way the game had started off, it's 7-0 Denver. And it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, whatever. It was either a long one or it was a short 2. I don't remember. Okay. But the point is, if you kick a field goal there and you make it 10-0, and it would have been a chip shot and Will Lutz would have made the field goal. Don't get me. Well, he still could have missed. Yeah. And, I could have had tacos for breakfast, but I didn't. If they kick the field goal there and it's 10-0, that game takes on a completely different feel, the way that Vance Joseph's defense was playing. Okay. And not just because New England only ended up scoring 10 and whatever, and they came out in the second half and they were great. And then the blizzard came in and it stopped all the scoring. I mean, they should have known about the blizzard, by the way. I mean, you should have a meteorologist on staff. You want to have the analytics guy on staff. They should have known that the blizzard was coming, and maybe they did. But to me, you have to go out and optimize. You want to talk about optimizing possession? You have to optimize scoring in the first half. If you're Denver, you know that a blizzard's coming, right? You should have known. It didn't just come out. It didn't just miraculously happen in the last hour. No, you should have known going into the game. A meteorologist is going to tell you that, guess what, in the second half, coach, it might get ugly. Which means you take up every point you can get. And I just think that it's a different game. I really do. I think it's a different game if he kicks the field goal there. So anyway, that is my thing there. And again, we'll talk about it. I see we got a ton of comments here, more than usual here, even on a Monday. So I'm going to get to them. But first, before I get to any comments, got to tell you about my friends at Evangeline Securities. Of course, they are a company that can help you decide if it's the right time to sell your family-run or privately held business. It just as importantly, they can figure out what that business is worth. Is that you? Someone you know, someone you love, someone you say, I just need to help this person. It's time to reach out to Evangeline's founding partner, Nick Braden. He will start by scheduling a complimentary evaluation from his office, either on Poydras Street or in Lafayette, or who knows, maybe he's going to set up in Santa Clara and go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. But if wherever you decide to meet Nick Braden, you will be well informed to begin to make the decision on if you decide to proceed. What happens after that? Well, you got to wait a little bit. We'll tell you later in the show. In the meantime, you can check them out at www.evangelinesecurities.com, and you can also check out my friend Joe DiStefano. If you own a small business of fewer than 20 employees, you know how tough it is to get the best rates on health insurance. That's why you want to call Joe DiStefano Insurance. Joe and I have known each other for almost 40 years. I can tell you that he's someone that I trust. Look, health insurance shouldn't be one size fits all, and with Joe DiStefano, you get access to PPO networks and flexible plans designed to fit you, not just a cookie cutter mold. Joe's licensed, he's local, but he can help you no matter where you live and operate. From preventative care to peace of mind, we'll tailor a plan that works for your life today and tomorrow. Call Joe DiStefano at 504-234-2132 to protect what matters most. Let's get this show on a roll, whatever you want to call it. Memberships. If you're not a member yet, you want to become a member. We have a lot of fun here. We want you to be a part of it. Support the program, as somebody else would say. He doesn't know how to spell program. You know, if you don't know who I'm talking about, you'll figure it out. All right, we're going to get started with Super Bowl talk and yesterday's games. That's how we're going to talk here. If I'm a little feisty to your comment this morning, please don't take it the wrong way. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Here we go. Cedric, what we got this morning? Cedric starts it off. Good morning. Is there a chance that Rashid Shaheed comes back? Did we overlook Darnold and Kubiak? How would we have overlooked Darnold and Kubiak? There would be a 0.0 chance I would advocate for Sam Darnold to come to New Orleans, if that's what you meant. And Clint Kubiak was never going to stay here with an offensive-minded coach who's going to pretty much call his own plays, so that was never going to happen. So I answered the second part of your question first. The first part of your question, is there a chance that Shaheed comes back? I'm glad you bring this up. I did not put this in my notes. I meant to. And the answer is, yeah, sure, there's a chance. I mean, but I've seen a lot of over the course of the past few weeks that the Saints got to regret trading Rashid Shaheed. They don't regret it for 1 second. It was 100% the right move to make. You got something when you were going to get nothing if he decided to leave. If Rashid Shaheed wants to be a Saint again, he still has the opportunity to do so because he's going to be a free agent when this season is over. However, if he doesn't want to be a Saint when this season's over and you didn't trade him when you were 2-10 or 2-9, whenever the trade deadline was, it doesn't matter. 2 and whatever. You weren't going anywhere. You got something for Rashid Shaheed, and good for you. So, Cedric, the answer to your first question is there a chance Shaheed comes back? There's a chance, but I doubt it. I would put it at about 20%, 15, 20%. And that might be high. Apathy, good morning. Cursed Sean Payton struck again. He's not cursed. He choked. Not cursed. Not about being cursed. I thought he was clearly, and I'm not just saying from this one call, put it this way, I think Mike Vrabel was almost flawless yesterday. Mike Vrabel, I don't think could have coached yesterday any better. I go through the game, and maybe I'll watch it again, maybe I won't. It wasn't the greatest game on planet Earth, and not just because it was 10-7, but I mean, I look at this line right now, Seattle -4.5 and over New England, and I got to be honest, I don't like the what have you done for me lately kind of handicappers, but I mean, how can you not think Seattle's not going to kick New England's ass at this point? But it's not because of he's cursed. Okay, and that's what UBN's saying here. It's not because he's cursed. Kick the field goal. But it's not just that. I think Mike Vrabel completely outcoached him from the get-go. Now, he looked good the first quarter and a half, but I don't know. That's just my thing. Sav says, not a fan of the new go for it fourth down NFL. I mean, that's what they want to. Sav, they want to quote optimize every possession. Well, no shit. Everybody wants to optimize their possessions. That's the dumbest thing. I hate that term. Optimize your possessions. Analytics. How about this? How about you fire the analytics guy? Okay. Remember when the analytics was just a card that said when you go for it or for two? That was analytics. Don't tell me analytics, and then we'll have Zach will probably chime in at some point or text me later and tell me, well, analytics didn't necessarily say go for it. Yeah, how about you use your brain? Okay. Use your damn brain when you're supposed to go for it and when you're not supposed to go for it. Every common sense measure, 100% in my mind. I don't need an analytics card to tell me that I should kick a field goal there. I mean, seriously. Brian says, good morning. He didn't really want the Patriots to win, but he's also petty and don't want Sean to win anything without the Saints. He hopes they both lose. Well, they can't both lose. But Cal Sherman says, go Seahawks. He's not the only family member who's rooting for the Seahawks, and not just because they're petty and they're like the other I hate the Rams. I'm going to get to the I hate the Rams thing. That's coming. Good morning, Jerry. UBN says it's cold. It's cold. It is currently in Mandeville, Louisiana. Come on. You can do it. 35 degrees. It was 25 when I woke up. It is cold. Phil, good morning. T-Mama's back. Good morning. Charles Mangus, of course he's here. Good morning. Staying warm? The Pels won again. Yep, we're not talking Pels today. Sorry. There's your Pels. That's your Pels talk for the day. Mangus, hope you enjoyed it. Can't, dude. I just can't. Not today, anyway. Not when we're talking about the Super Bowl. Good morning, Hoodad. Sean's big show continues. It warms your Hoodad heart. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Do you hate the Rams more than you're still pissed at Sean Payton? That should have been the poll question. Good morning, Adam. Seahawks will probably beat the Pats badly. I mean, how can you not? That's the way. I don't know. Maybe I'll feel differently. Give me a week. Maybe I'll thaw out. Maybe I won't be as upset. You know, I forgot to. Damn it, my sister's here. I completely love you, sis. I completely forgot to post the video, to upload the video that you sent me. I'll do it Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to show. My poor sister lives in Springfield, Massachusetts, and she is literally buried under. Okay, I am not exaggerating when I'm telling you she's buried. The poor woman has been shoveling since like Friday. She got a very mini break. I'm telling you, you have got to see this video. Come back on Wednesday. I promise you, Wednesday, I'm going to show the video. I completely lost track of time this morning. I knew there was something that I didn't do. I could feel it. I didn't do it. I could feel it that I didn't do it. I promise that I will show it on Wednesday. It's sick. It's sick how much snow they have and what they have to go through. I joke. We always joke about the weather. I joke with her in the winter, and she jokes with me in the summer. But it is so bad. I feel for y'all dealing with this crap. I even feel the people of Oxford, Mississippi. Did y'all see this? Oxford, Mississippi had 1 inch, a full inch of ice. And yeah, I mean, for people who can't fathom what this means, okay, that's not snow, okay? That's straight up ice. Can you imagine this much ice on everything? I mean, you literally have a skating rink of ice. I don't know, Gabe, is the hockey ice the ice in a hockey rink? Is it an inch thick? I mean, can you look that up? I have no idea. But think about that for a minute. You basically got an ice rink covering everything. And they have no power right now in most of Oxford, Mississippi. I feel awful for them. I feel seriously. 3/4 of an inch in the NHL. 3/4. That just goes to show there is a 1/4 of an inch more than a hockey rink has right now. I mean, you could skate on top of people's houses. I mean, I'm not even going to make funny of it. See, even my sister's in a pissy mood today. Sorry, son, you'll get over it. I'm going to give you a break, too. I'm not going to even mess with you today. You be here with the super chat. Tell my wife to stop beating me in the eye. It's not that bad yet, is it? I don't want to get too close. That's scary. It's actually starting to. It's been here for about a week. Actually, it's been there longer than a week, but it's been noticeable for a week or two. It's starting to bother me now. You're right, Gabe. I got a legal announcement here this morning. For just to make it clear, you know how you watch YouTube videos and they tell you this is not financial advice. The Dattitude podcast does not, I repeat, does not condone skating on houses. Don't do it. They told me on Dattitude it was okay. No, we didn't. Just saying. It's happening out there. Cannon, what's up? Good to see you this morning. What else are we getting to the poll question? I know I'm behind. Jim Ratcliffe. I don't look. What is it, like 72 in LA this morning? Yeah. Bart Prudhomme, the Super Bowl will be like the halftime show, a blowout and boring. Seahawks 49, Patriots 13. I don't know, man. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl because I have to. Mikey, what's going on? Broncos win with Bo Nix. He says, there he goes. I know Gabe already voted yes, they would have won. Glad Bonehead Sean lost it. Jody says Peyton absolutely screwed up that fourth down call. Ryan Ashe says, good morning. He's not a Knicks fan, but yes, they win with Knicks. Sean was atrocious yesterday. So Sean was atrocious yesterday. Why do they win with Knicks? Okay. I don't think any quarterback would have made a difference. And let's put it this way. The last quarter and a half, I don't know that any quarterback makes a difference. I thought also that Peyton screwed up when he kicked the field goal in the first half, when he didn't kick the field goal in the first half, and then later on, when he did kick the field goal on like 4th and 5, and he tried to kick a field goal in the blizzard. Come on, man. I mean, look, come on. CWO, USAR, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine in Denver. And who that fan since 67? Sean Payton spit the bit when he left New Orleans. He wanted to come back, supposedly. Jeff Duncan swears that he wanted to come back. I ain't buying it. They would have welcomed him back. They would have welcomed him back with open arms. Kyle says he thinks Knicks makes a 3 to 7 point difference. He agrees that Sean goofed. He should have taken the field goal. I mean, okay, so let's say that Knicks makes a 3-point difference, which, according to the odds makers, it makes more difference than that, because if Knicks was playing, the Broncos would have been favored. Not by a lot, but probably would have been about a 2.5 point favorite. So according to the odds makers, somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 point difference. I ain't buying it. Maybe it's because I'm partly biased and whatever. Look, I'll let you know when I got a bias. And sometimes I have a bias. So I just don't think, I'm still not sold on Bo Nix. But I know, sometimes I'm a tough sell. And here's the thing UBN points out, and this is what I want to point out, and I know a lot of y'all agree with me, so I'm preaching to the choir. But here's the thing that I want to tell all the analytics people. When you get a first down, when you go for it on 4th down and you get it. You still got to score. And we saw it yesterday. We saw the Patriots go for it on 4th down, I think at like the 12 or something along those lines. It was 4th and 1 from somewhere around the 12-yard line, and they went for it, and they got it. Okay. Now, that was a different story. The reason why that was a different story is because of where you were in the game, what was coming. It was right before the blizzard was starting. And they went for it. And they got it. And then it was 4th and 5 from like the 7, and they kicked the field goal like they should. But that's the point. Even if you get the first down, you're not guaranteed anything. It's the same as when, here's the ones that are really stupid. And I mean, super stupid. When you go for it on your own side of the field on 4th down, I don't care if it's 4th and a half an inch and you get it 95% of the time. Stupid. In my opinion, stupid. Any old Joe says, if you know that snow is coming, you kick that field goal. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he didn't know it was coming, and that's even worse if you don't know it's coming. I mean, how can you not know it's coming? Brian Cabot says it's a cold day in Denver. Happy Monday, Dattitude family. Sean always thinks he's the smartest. Oh, no, he doesn't think. He doesn't think, Brian. He knows he's the smartest person in the room. 4th down decision. Dude hadn't played in 759 days. Take the points. He doesn't think he's the smartest guy in the room. He knows he's the smartest guy in the room. Look, y'all can see what y'all, I mean, I have a lot of friends yesterday who were rooting for Denver because of Sean Payton. A lot of people. Okay. But I'm not going to piss on your parade. You want to root for Sean Payton? You want to root for Lil Jordan Humphrey? You want to root for Rashid Shaheed? You want to root for the Seahawks because you hate the Rams? Whatever. Go for it. But let's call a spade a spade. And Sean Payton, you are who we thought you were. An egotistical, overrated coach. Well, how can you say he's overrated? Brilliant offensive mind, no question. How can I say he's overrated? Because I could tell you from watching the Saints teams that played here, and to not only just win one Super Bowl, but to only, if this would have happened and that would have happened, this didn't happen and that didn't happen. Overrated. Some of the Saints teams that played in the playoffs to go to Seattle as a division winner, to play a division winner that's 7-9 and lose because you can't make a tackle is insane. Overrated. And I see that I lost some people, and I don't care. Tell you the way that I think that it is. Overrated. Now, again, I'm going to say what I have to say. Use the caveat. You can still be a good coach and be overrated. Just like you can be a great player and be overrated. I've said this 1,000 times. Let's say it again. I'll point to my opinion of LeBron James. Again, that's the best example I can think of. I think LeBron James is a fantastic basketball player and one of the top 5 to 8 players that's ever played the game, but he's not the best player in the game. So therefore, I think he's overrated. I use that example to tell you that I think Sean Payton is I'm not going to say great, a very good football coach, but he's also overrated and he lets his ego get in the way a lot of times. A lot of times. Ron Hendrickson says his ego is a double-edged sword. Tons of swagger, but sometimes he can't control himself. And in his mind, he's the smartest man on the planet field. Charles says Mangus isn't coming. Shaheed isn't coming back. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Earl says they win with Knicks, and he agrees the field goal would have changed things. Peyton beat himself. He's glad Denver didn't win because he doesn't want to watch that quarterback in the Super Bowl. Well, that's a silly reason. I mean, you can have, again, I'm going to stick to what I'm not going to be a hypocrite. You can have whatever reason you want. You can like or dislike Peyton for whatever reason you want. You can root for the Seahawks because you hated the Rams and that much. We're going to get to that in a minute. And you can say you don't want to watch that quarterback in the Super Bowl. That's silly. If that quarterback would have won yesterday, he would have deserved to win. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand that. Why would you not want to watch that quarterback? I mean, think about where Sam Darnold was 3 years ago. I mean, what is this world coming to, by the way? Sam effing Darnold is in the Super Bowl. That's what we are. Sam effing Darnold. And you know what? I got to start giving him credit, right? Tell you I'm not a hypocrite. He earned it. The Seahawks didn't just win because their defense, they gave up 27 points. The Seahawks didn't just win because they have Kenneth Walker. They didn't win just because they have Jackson Smith and Njigba. The Seahawks won in a large part because Sam Darnold was really good. He's been really good through this play. Not like last year when he went to Minnesota and he crapped the bed again and they choked in the playoffs. No. Sam Darnold this year is proven. When Seattle gave him this contract, I said, what are they thinking? Well, apparently they're thinking that Sam Darnold is that damn good, and he has been. And I will say this, and this is only partly joking. Maybe he's the best of the class of 2018. Okay. He can't be. He's not better than Josh Allen. Josh Allen isn't going to the Super Bowl. Can't be better than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's not going to the Super Bowl. Can't be better than Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield isn't going to the Super Bowl. In fact, not only are they not going to the Super Bowl, they've never been in the Super Bowl. Not going to the Super Bowl. Again. Oh, yeah, and then there's Josh Rosen. Remember him? 10th pick of that class. So a lot of you like to, and I don't do this, so that's why I say I'm half joking when I talk about this. But all of you people that say Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback who's ever lived because he won 7 Super Bowls or whatever it is, 7, right? 7 Super Bowls. And you judge things by Super Bowls, well, then you got to say, if you judge things by Super Bowls, you got to say Sam Darnold's better than Josh Allen and better than Lamar Jackson and better than Baker Mayfield. Do I say that? No. You know I'm not serious about that. That's better than Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. But it sure does make for fun. Just saying. What else we got here this morning? James Choctaw is here. How can I say the Saints gave up nothing? Oh, here we go. Gabe, you got the dumbass of the week alert ready? I'm not ready to award it yet. I'm just saying we have an absolute nominee. How can I say the Saints gave up nothing for Vele with a 4th and a 7th one show? Then on this show, you say the Saints got something back for a 4th with Shaheed. Gabe's queuing it up. You realize when somebody says nothing, it's in the grand scheme of things, right? The Saints gave up nothing. When I say they gave up nothing for Devon Vele, in the grand scheme of things, a 4th-round pick turns out to be nothing. It's in the grand scheme of things. It's a small price to pay. Okay, it's a metaphor, if you will, for it's a small price to pay to get a guy that's potentially the big receiver that you need. Okay, when I say nothing, of course, it doesn't literally mean nothing. This may be a tough concept to grasp. And I know I can't tell whether you're being a smart ass or whether you're just like being pissy and like I'm pissy this morning, which is a possibility. So that's why I'm not awarding you the Dumbass of the Week award just yet. Because maybe you can come back and explain yourself. This was 18 minutes ago. But here's the thing. You're going to give up Shaheed. Who cares that you give up Shaheed? Oh, he's warning me that his comments get worse. I can't wait. Because maybe you will win. I mean, Dumbass of the Week. It's coming. I can feel it. It's coming. So the point is, I know it's a tough. I know some people don't deal with logic very well. Okay, so I'm going to go through this again, and I'm going to be as nice as possible, which might not be nice. I warned you ahead of time. When you say you got nothing, I mean it's like, let's put it this way. You go to lunch, you're on a diet, okay, and I don't know. You eat a little side salad for lunch. You go home and your wife says, "What'd you have for lunch today?" I didn't eat. I ate nothing today. I'm starving. I ate nothing today. Sometimes you might say I ate a salad. Sometimes you can say I ate nothing today. Okay, or you might say, last week we had $5,000. We got nothing left, and you might have $800 in the bank. Is that nothing? No, it's not nothing. I know this is a tough concept for you to grasp, some people, and I'm going off way out on a tangent this morning on this because stupid shit like this bothers me. If you can't understand what I mean by this, then I can't help you. Okay? They got nothing. They gave up nothing for Vele in the grand scheme of things. Nothing. What did they get back for Shaheed? They got a 4th-round pick, which is the same thing. Yeah, sure, it's the same thing. But I'd rather if somebody says, if I buy a pack of ground beef for $8 and it's in my refrigerator and it says sell by January 25th, and I go into my fridge this morning and I'm like, oh crap, I got to throw it away. And my next door neighbor happens to be in town and be in the house and he says, I'll give you $1 for that ground meat. I'd rather have $1 than nothing, and I ain't eating it. Now, do you kind of get it now? And sure, I put it in the form of food, probably for a reason, because maybe you can understand that. Daryl Hayden says, good morning from the frozen tundra. I mean, it's Little Rock, Arkansas. Y'all certainly got it frozen. No doubt about it. Jimmy says they lost the NFC Championship on a low-grade play call from Sean Payton. Yeah, man. Lane says she hates the Rams forever. Sean, she doesn't have an issue. Look, I hear you. But here's my point on the Rams, Arlene. You lead me into that. And again, you're not the only one. I got tons of friends who say, Karma got those Rams. They lost because of the no call. You do realize that they've won a Super Bowl since then, right? Karma has been just fine in the Los Angeles Rams, who have been over the course of the last 10 to 12 years, since whenever, I guess 9, 10 years, whenever Sean McVay got there, have been overall. They had a couple of down years when they had a ton of injuries, including Matt Stafford. But the Rams are certainly one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the NFL over a long period of time, including winning a Super Bowl against your beloved Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. You forgot that one, didn't you? I'm just saying. Shane says, my friend Shane says, Sean got fancy, didn't play the percentages, didn't manage the game correctly, and sorry, that's the hater in him. Didn't want to see him win, but that's a Shane problem. Yeah, I know. You meant Shane. Let's see what else we got here. Anyway, you see what I mean? Only a matter of time when Sean's roster management style puts Denver in the same position the Saints roster went toward the end. Everyone blames Loomis for all the bad draft picks, but that was on Payton. You don't think Sean Payton was making those draft picks? Apathy says he's going to be right back. He's going to pull his name from consideration of interviewing with the Browns. Y'all seen that debacle? What a cluster F of a franchise. Anytime you think it can't get any worse, your team, and look, obviously the Saints are going on the upswing. But if you ever think your franchise can't, no matter who you are out there, even the GD Jets, if you think your franchise can't get any worse, take a look at the Cleveland Browns. It can get worse. A-Town wants to know if I got in a drunken bar fight. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. UBN wants to see it. It's happened before. It's been a while. It's been a long, long time. Father Steve is here. He thinks Denver wins if Knicks plays, but Sean should have taken those 3 points. Overthinking cost them there. Father Stephen Lee, good morning. James, Gabe, you were right. I'm just going to go ahead, and I know it's Monday, and I don't usually do this, but hold on a minute. Dumbass of the week! You win, James Choctaw! James Choctaw! Gabe, tell the people what they've won. Dumbass of the week. Not even showing you comments anymore, you're so stupid. Just saying. Now, you couldn't agree more. Sean is a good coach, but he's overrated. If you want to hold it against me for being mean to you, Gabe, I think we just lost a subscriber. I mean, look, if you win Dumbass of the Week, you just win Dumbass of the Week. And if you unsubscribe for that, there's nothing I can do for you. You know? My friend Troy DePriest is here. Bingo. I think he's talking about me saying that Sean can be overrated and still be a good coach. Nola Rebel says his grandpa used to say you get styes from peeing in the wind. It's actually not a sty, Nola Rebel. It's called, and I know I'm going to butcher this the way you pronounce it. It's a Chalazian or something along those lines. I know it's CH. It starts with CH and it ends with IN. Maybe I'm the dumbass of the week. Something like that. We haven't had a dumbass. It's been a while since we had a dumbass of the week. I don't think we have we had a dumbass of the week this entire calendar year so far, Gabe. I don't think we have. Make sure you mark that one down. Remember, we got to have a contest at the end of the year. Who's going to be the dumbass of the year? Now, I will say this, James Choctaw. I don't think you have much of a chance of winning dumbass. You got to get way worse than that to win dumbass of the year. Ken knew what we said. He knew what we meant. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Apathy. You had to trade Shaheed. You weren't paying him. You committed to Olave over him, even if you don't agree with it, right? Apathy. And everybody else, even if you don't agree, not going to go into the whole Olave thing again. Even if you don't agree, the Saints are committing to paying Olave. You might as well get something for Shaheed versus nothing when he walks in the offseason. But it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, Chad, I think everybody wanted Vrabel. I mean, you can go back and look at the old Dattitudes. I mean, we were clearly, it was pretty clear from the get-go that the Saints weren't going to get Vrabel. But if you go back and look at those shows, I mean, that's the train that I was on. I mean, Team Mama, with that fourth pick, you can get something you really need. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But even if you don't, that's one more dart. You got at the dartboard. And I don't mean Jackson dart. Just saying. Charles wants to know, is Matt Stafford going to retire? I don't know. Might. I don't know. I doubt it. I think he's got at least one more year in him. If Phillip Rivers can come back and play football at 74 years old, then he can. Speaking of Cleveland Browns, are the Buffalo Bills seriously interviewing Phillip Rivers? All right, a couple other things this morning here. I'm going to get to some more comments in a minute because I want to get into a couple. One is the conspiracy theorist. But there's another thing. Gabe wants me to look at something before I come. Oh, Rivers pulled out of. There you go. That's sort of breaking news. Be careful how you use the term pulled out. Rivers pulled out of. He's got 10 kids. He ain't pulled out of anything in his entire life. Rivers pulled out of consideration for the Buffalo job this morning. I mean, look, you lob a volleyball like that, I'm going to spike it right across your head. My Apple alert this morning. Okay, my Apple News alert. It says, it tells me, and I never heard of this. If you don't have Apple News, I use it all the time. Most of the time it's good. Sometimes it isn't. Let me see. Well, I can't see from where this is coming from right now. Hey, watch, I know. Sorry, Team Mom. Every now and then I get one of those. Sorry, Lance. Just saying. Dude don't know how to pull out. That's why he's got that many kids. So I don't remember what news organization wrote this, but my Apple alert asked me, you know how the geniuses who try to coaches optimize possessions. There are people who have jobs over people like Gabe and I who know what the hell we're doing. I'm not going to call out any company or anything that try to optimize clicks, right? That's their job. They optimize clicks. There absolutely are people that do this. Again, I'm not calling out any particular company, but I have firsthand knowledge that there are media companies that have these people. And someone actually wrote this morning on the Apple News Alert. Who are the biggest winners and losers from the NFL Conference Championship games? Well, I'll tell you what, Apple. I have the answer for you, you dumbass click manager. Here they are. The biggest winners? Well, they were the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. The biggest losers were the Los Angeles Rams and the Denver Broncos. See, I didn't even need to click on it. They get paid to do this shit. Maybe a prerequisite for these jobs, Gabe, and this is why you and I are independents now. A prerequisite for these jobs is you have to score as low as possible on your IQ test to write this stuff. Who are the biggest winners and losers from the NFL Conference Championship games? Really? I mean, that's where we are. That's the kind of headlines we're writing this morning. I mean, I tell you what, man. If some media organization, if some head of a media organization is out there and watching this, and they're looking to hire somebody that can write stuff like that, I can do that. I'm not saying I might not even be interested now because I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I'm just saying. Oh, Lordy. No politics. What are you talking about? I'm not talking about politics. It's not politics. Just talking about common sense. Troy says Father Steve's going to give me some Hail Marys and a novena. I might need one. Quo Vadis is here. Good morning. She knows what I'm talking about. Quo, you know what I'm talking about. Quo and I were colleagues. She says the Patriots had a super easy path to the Super Bowl. That's true. The Seahawks won by 10. And look, I don't know if that's part of why I feel the way I do. I don't want to be that what have you done for me lately kind of prognosticator. Okay. That's not who I want to be this morning or any morning, really. So I don't want to just say, I mean, there's no doubt you go through these playoffs, and I know they only played 2 games. The Patriots played 3. But there's no doubt that the Seahawks have been the best team in these playoffs. And they absolutely deserve to be in the Super Bowl. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Larry Bro is here. Good morning, or happy midday. You're right. Shaheed is definitely going to get paid after having success in the spotlight in Seattle. The Saints can't afford him now. Need receivers on first-year contracts. You're probably right, Larry. You're probably right. Before Gabe comes on, and I want to talk about Lane Kiffin a little bit too. But before we get to that I told y'all at the beginning of the show, and I mean, look, there's no doubt I've got a little bit more attitude than usual. I got a little bit more Dattitude than usual this morning. I'm in part pissy because the conspiracy theorists were out in full. I mean, it doesn't matter who makes the game. Some people think that it's always rigged. I mean, there's no Kansas City this year, but it's rigged. No Eagles this year. It's rigged. No, we have basically 2 new teams in the grand scheme of things. Now, I'm sure people like the dumbass of the week is going to come and say, oh, well, they're not new teams. They played in Super Bowl 49. You know what I mean? New England and Seattle. Who had that on their bingo card before the season started? No one. You know why? Because Seattle was a 60-1, had 60-1 odds. Gabe sent this to me this morning. 60-1 odds the Seattle Seahawks had before the season. I actually have a good friend who had that. He's got that. But you ain't got both. If you got both out there, then somebody send me the tickets and I'll show them on the screen here. Seattle Seahawks were 60-1, had 60-1 odds with Sam Darnold and Seahawks. I mean, they were probably, if I had to guess, they were probably 5-1 to win their own damn division. Maybe more than that. I mean, the Rams and 49ers were clearly ahead of the Seahawks going into the season. And even probably like week 12, remember when no one can beat the Rams? No one can beat the Rams. Gabe says there is a bettor who had both at Circus Sportsbook. The book CEO posted it early. He probably had, and I'm not exact, and I don't know this, so I'm just throwing this out there, but I'm betting he also had like 10 other tickets too. Probably had like 12 or 15 tickets, and he got lucky because long shots are there. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he only had like 3 or 4. He didn't only. I promise you, didn't only have 2. And the point is, so the conspiracy theorist, UBN sent something earlier this morning, and I don't know if y'all have heard this conspiracy, but the NFL, when the season starts, it's like it's the road to Super Bowl 60. And generally what it is whatever colors they use to make the Super Bowl logo, are always the colors that are in the team's uniforms. And they're usually like blue and red, which about 2/3 of the teams in the NFL use blue and red or some form or fashion. And you can look at this screen and see that all 4 teams have blue in their color scheme. One of them has red and one of them has orange, whatever. So, I mean, in theory, if the Super Bowl logo had blue and red in it, which mine does because I don't like that stupid logo they have, so I'll just put my own stamp on it. I'm not using their logo this year, and I don't have. Last year I had to use it because it was in New Orleans, and I felt compelled to use it. This year I don't have to, and I'm not because I think it's ugly. But the point is, so that's always been the conspiracy theory. This year, the conspiracy theory is, and you can go find it, but they show a player that's drawn. 32 players are walking towards the 49ers. I don't remember with the Levi Stadium, are walking towards Levi Stadium. 32 players. They're not all quarterbacks, but most of them are quarterbacks, and they're walking towards the stadium. And because Sam Darnold and Drake May are in the front, along with there were like four other players that are in the front too. But that's the latest conspiracy. I also had one who wrote on my Facebook page. I put my picks out yesterday on a short. I put them on YouTube and Facebook, and TikTok wasn't working yesterday for some reason. But some numbnuts wrote this on my page in between games, in between the Denver game and the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game. Wrote, quote, "This is rigged. Seahawks losing too. Saints fans going to be mad when Rams win the Super Bowl." How did that go? He disappeared. Of course, he didn't come back. That's what these people always do, by the way. They write stuff and then they just don't. Oh, they don't come back and say, "Oh, I must have been wrong," or "I had the wrong story." Here's another thing. Y'all conspiracy theorists, if it's rigged, could y'all do me a big favor? Just tell me who's going to win so we can all make a lot of money. If this game is rigged and y'all know who's going to win back, especially like in September, we can make shit tons of money. If it's rigged and you know who's going to win back in September, you're a genius, and I got to know the story. Mark wants to know, does anyone have odds on the Saints to win the NFC South in 2026? They do not usually do, Gabe, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they usually do this till after. They don't usually do it till after the schedule comes out. That's about when those things start happening. So summer-ish. The schedule usually comes out in May, early May. It's usually about a week or two after the draft, maybe 2 weeks after the draft. So yeah. So they got a little ways to go. Yeah. And like Gabe says here, the odds for next year's Super Bowl will come out right after this Super Bowl is over. And sometimes actually before then. They actually come out beforehand. Some books will have them like within the next week. They'll have the odds on next year's Super Bowl. And then other future odds trickle out after. But I don't think you're going to see any division odds yet. All right, I want to move on and talk to Lane Kiffin about Lane Kiffin for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to bring on Gabe. But before we do that, we told you earlier we'll let you know more about how Evangeline Securities can help you figure out what your family-run or privately held business might be worth and whether it's time to sell. How do they do it? That is better than any question James Choctaw has ever asked in an entire life. After their complimentary valuation of your company, if you decide to proceed, native New Orleanian Nick Braden and the folks at Evangeline will begin an extensive auction process from among established private equity funds from around the entire world. They will maximize the return for the founder and his or her family. Evangeline Securities, the top producer on their platform. There are very few companies like them in this area, and 0.0 with their dedication and success. They're fully licensed. They're ready to serve you. So get in touch with Nick about what's really important, and you know what it is. Not about what the Saints' odds will be to win the NFC South next year. It's not about whether Sean Payton screwed up his chances to go to another Super Bowl. No, what's really important? The rest of your life. You can find them at www.evangelinesecurities.com. Ken says he's really impressed about how Bo Nix took one for the conspiracy theory. Yeah, Ken. They had to uphold that conspiracy theory. And Bo Nix says, you know what? I love a good conspiracy theory as much as anyone. That's why I left Auburn. Went to Oregon. Started my own conspiracy theory. There's a conspiracy theory out there that dude's actually a good quarterback. Not on my page, but whatever. Told you I was feisty this morning. All right, Lane Kiffin is Grand Marshal of Endymion. Look, over the weekend, this happened after we went off the air Friday. I think it happened. Yeah, it happened Friday. I'm sure you all saw it by now if you didn't. This came out of the blue. I got to say, I did not see this one coming. LSU got the top offensive tackle in the portal. Looked like he was, speaking of Oregon, it looked like he was going to Oregon. I thought he was going to Oregon. I think Gabe thought he was going to Oregon. I think we all thought he was going to Oregon. Like Detillier thought he was going to Oregon. Jordan Seaton. I can pronounce that one. According to ESPN, not only was it the top offensive tackle, but the number 4 overall player in the transfer rankings. He picked LSU over Miami, who was in the national championship game, Oregon, who was close to going to the national championship game, and Mississippi State, who was nowhere near going to the national championship game, and he was never going to Mississippi State. He has 2 more seasons of eligibility left. However, he will most likely be projected to be, probably, assuming he does what he's supposed to do. You want him to do this, a top 10 pick next year. 6'5", 330-pound sophomore. He will be eligible for the draft after this coming year. He started 22 games at left tackle over his 2 seasons for Deion Sanders and the Buffaloes. Blocked for Shedeur Sanders in his freshman year. He was the top uncommitted player left in ESPN's transfer rankings, and he now joins clearly again. I will tell you what I think about Lane Kiffin, but I will also tell you what I know about Lane Kiffin. And what I know about Lane Kiffin is he is absolutely 100% put together the top portal class, not only in this year's portal class. And now, this isn't saying a whole lot because portal classes, they get bigger every year. There's no question there are more people in the portal this year than any other time. In fact, Gabe could fact check me if he wants on this, but I would be willing to guess there would at least double the amount of players in the portal this year than maybe ever before. That would be my guess. So with that being said, in a short window of time, I don't think that anyone can say that there's ever been a better portal class than this. What is it now? 42, 43 players that LSU's gotten in the portal. And to me, Sam Leavitt, if he wasn't the best quarterback in the portal, certainly was one of them. They've got 10 receivers. They've got some fantastic defensive players, defensive backs. Gabe says there were 3,700. Is that 23 and 24 combined? Or is that each year? Each year? Hang on. I know we're sometimes factually incorrect. Oh, the 23-24 season. Basically meaning the 23 season. That ended with the national championship of 24. Okay. So just 2 years ago. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So 2 years ago, there were 3,700 players that went in the portal. The rough estimate from this year, I don't even know how this is this is absurd. I don't even know how this is possible. This is incredible. Again, Gabe and I'll probably talk about this in a minute. The number this year, roughly, 10,500 players in the portal. There probably haven't been 10,500 people at a Pelicans game this year. Realistically, I'm not talking about what the attendance is. Realistically, do we think there have been 10,500 people at a Pelicans game this year? I don't. That's insane. UVN wants to know if Lane Kiffin's going to run. No, he's got his own float. He's got like the Mike the Tiger float or whatever. It was a float that Blaine Kern, not Blaine Kern didn't make it because Blaine Kern hasn't been with us for a while now. The Kern Studios has made. That's insane. But Lane Kiffin is, look, there's no doubt. You got to give him every credit. He deserves to be Grand Marshal of Endymion. He is changing LSU, and he's certainly, I could say whatever I want from before, and I'll tell you I was wrong from before, and I'm glad they got rid of Brian. I was not advocating for Brian Kelly to leave before the Texas A&M game. I said after the Texas A&M game they had to. I told you, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'll tell you what I said. I was not an advocate for Brian Kelly leaving. I thought it was a silly thought. But aren't we all glad that dude's gone now? Goodness gracious. What a change. Again, I don't have to like the dude. Gabe's got breaking news. Give me 3 minutes. 3 more minutes. Mark wants to know if this isn't about Lane Kiffin, but do I see the point spread moving closer to 3 points a week, closer to the Super Bowl, or going the other way? I got to be honest. It was about a point less than I thought it would be. If I had to guess, it would move more away from New England. And if I had to guess, it will either be, this is the low. I don't think it's going any lower than it is right now. I think it will go more up. And here's Gabe saying basically what I'm saying. BetMGM already has it at 5. Yeah, it's going to go the other way. I don't think it's going anywhere near 3. If you want to bet on Seattle, now's the time. It's not getting any better. Yeah, Charlie Weiss officially returned. I think he already had. Yeah. I mean, he almost didn't go coach in the semifinals game. Right. So anyway, Lane, look, the point is I've given Lane Kiffin grief. But no grief here. I'm glad the whole Grand Marshal of Endymion thing is just another way for him to endear himself to the people of Southeast Louisiana, in my opinion. And I like it. You would have never seen Brian Kelly be the Grand Marshal of Endymion. I can just tell you that way. I could see Les Miles being the Grand Marshal of Endymion. I could see Coach O being the Grand Marshal of Endymion. I don't think Nick Saban would ever let himself be the Grand Marshal of Endymion. But I could never see Brian Kelly being the Grand Marshal of Endymion. A, because Endymion would never ask him. I've been a member of Endymion for, this is going to be, I don't know, my 8th ride back since I was a kid. I don't know. So I think 2018, I think, was when I got in this last time. So, look, I think it's a great move for Endymion, and I think it's a great move for Lane Kiffin. Again, someone, Lance, close your ears. Close your ears, Lance. But, we always talk about one of the main gripes that Saints fans had about, Derek Carr. And with Tyler Shuck, one of the things that Tyler Shuck has already done that's completely different than Derek Carr is he's endeared himself to the people of New Orleans. He's already said he's about to have a baby, but he's already said he's going to be out at Mardi Gras parades. You'll probably see him. I've seen a bunch of stuff just the past few weeks of him. He ate dinner at Emerald's, not Emerald's. He ate dinner at, I'm sorry, a good friend of mine is the Mater D there, and I'm losing brain fart. The steak place on St. Charles. You know what I'm talking about. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, Tyler Shuck was there. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Ryan. I had to do it. But Tyler Shuck is enduring himself to the city of Desi Vega. There you go. Yes. And UBN and I have been there. And my friend Chris is the Mater D there. But and there's a picture of Tyler Shuck out eating and showing pictures of himself out eating. Now, Derek Carr, I'm sure, ate out, but he showed pictures of himself at like Subway and stupid crap like that. Lane Kiffin is endearing himself to the people, to LSU fans and the people of Southeast Louisiana, and I love it. So I'm going to give the dude grief when I think he deserves grief, but he deserves praise, 100% deserves praise for what he's done over the course of the past month or so, whatever it's been since he was named coach of the LSU Tigers. 100%. Ole Miss can hate him all they want, but he's doing all the right things. He's saying the right things. He's working his ass off. He's getting the player. And I mean, people have just not seen this before. Angus says I'm wrong. I'm wrong. The portal crap's getting way out of hand. College football now is almost like semi-pro ball. The NCAA gave some percentage of merch to the players. Here's the thing, Charles. It's never going back. I've said I don't have a problem. I mean, do I wish that it would tone down some? Sure. But I'm going to embrace this, and you know why? So I'm not wrong. You know why I'm going to embrace this? Because if you don't embrace it, then you go do something else because it ain't changing. Okay? It's never going back. Now, they may find ways to limit it somewhat, but the portal that we have right now, the way the portal is right now, it's not going anywhere. The NCAA has made its bed, and they deserve everything they get. And you can't tell a player, in my opinion, at this point in time, the way we are now, what are you going to do? If somebody wants to give Joe Blow $5 million to play football at their school, then Joe Blow should have the right to get $5 million and go play for their school. It's not a tough concept. Now, I used to get off my lawn and it sucks and they should be grateful that they get a scholarship and go to school. You know what? And then I started realizing how stupid that was. Because you think about how much money college football is making for an entire school. And then you realize, you know what? The players should get some of that money. EBN's 100% right. I don't say that very often. The old days are gone. I'm old. I've let the old days go. It sucks, but you have to embrace it or you get left behind. And that is literally, I miss the old days too, to some extent. But you can't tell me football that we see now, that the class of football that we see now is not better than the class of football we saw 15, 20 years ago. Because I can tell you that it is. And look, you can go back 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and all the big conferences were making all the money then. That's just what it is. So let them make that money, dude. And again, it ain't changing. It ain't changing anytime soon. Again, nor should it. So that's just my opinion on that. And regardless of anything, even if you hate the portal, Lane Kiffin is playing by the rules of today's college football, and he's playing it like a fiddle, and he's making everybody else look silly, in my opinion. Even some of the people that I think are some of the greatest coaches in college football right now, he's out. Now, he may not out coach him on the football field, which is why I say the jury's, my feelings of Lane Kiffin aren't, I'm dipping my toe in the Kiffin Lake Kiffin, but I ain't jumping in Lake Kiffin. Okay, I'm not ready to dive in head first in the Lake Kiffin. Not Lane Kiffin, Lake Kiffin. I mean, he may get thoroughly outcoached. Who knows? I doubt it. Hopefully, Blake Baker will help him on defense. And I mean, Lane Kiffin is an offensive mastermind, sort of like dude that lost 10-7 yesterday. So, but let me see what he does on the field. But I can tell you right now, he's out doing Dan Lanning, and he's out doing whoever else you want to talk about, and Kurt Signetti and everybody else in the transfer portal. Just saying, Texas Tech with all that money, Texas Tech's got, those rich Texas dudes giving Texas Tech all. That's why Texas Tech came out of nowhere and were in the playoffs, because they got all this money and they played the portal game right. Well, Lane Kiffin's beating them too. Just saying. That's how it goes. You know how the show goes? The show goes this way. It's Monday. We're about an hour and 15 minutes in. And we say hello to Gabe Henderson.
Hello.
Yeah, you shouldn't have gave me that pissy pill this morning.
So I got some breaking news for you.
Okay.
Per Ari Mirov, 10 minutes ago, Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders has been added to the Pro Bowl roster.
You have got to be shitting me.
No, I'm 100% serious.
You have got to be kidding me. Please tell me that's a... Hold on.
I'm serious.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. I hope nobody heard that.
One-time Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, you can talk about a lot of things that's wrong with football, but that's literally the most moronic thing that I've heard in months. That's even
So
more,
here's the
that's
thing.
way more moronic than James gone now.
I think you've from the last few years, whenever they got rid of the game, I think you've got to stop taking Pro Bowl tags off resumes because
100%. I said
it
that a
doesn't
long
matter
time ago.
anymore. But
I said that a
Shedeur
long time ago.
Shedeur Sanders, going to the Pro Bowl. This is the NFL saying people do not watch this shit. How do we get them to watch? And that's how. Because people will tune in.
What in the literal? I know. I try. I hope y'all didn't hear it. I put the mic away from my mouth. I said the word, but I did this. I hope y'all didn't hear me. Sorry. If you did, I'm sorry, Escali. Come on, man. I mean, come on. I want you to give me 3 AFC quarterbacks who are not in the Pro Bowl. And I promise you, all 3, and don't tell me like somebody that's not. Don't give me a 3rd string practice squad quarterback. Give me 3.
I don't know who's in the Pro Bowl other than Shedeur, honestly.
All right, well, that's going to be your job before we go off the air today. To give me
Smith is probably more deserving.
Absolutely, 100% Geno Smith.
Cam Ward.
Jody says maybe the NFL. Cam Ward, 150%. Cam Ward deserves a Pro Bowl over Shedeur Sanders. It's not even close. Jody, you're right. Maybe the NFL is the dumbass of the week.
Well, here's the thing:
that is worse than participation trophies.
You essentially,
what are you doing? Dylan Gabriel belongs in the Pro Bowl before Shedeur Sanders does.
You get so far down the line of people saying no.
Come on, man. You tell me you're just trying to press my buttons. I mean, you picked this morning to press more buttons. Come on. You tell me you're joking right now.
No, I'm not joking.
I gotta look this up.
Please look it up. I'm not kidding. And while you do that, I will answer Charles' question from earlier. So why don't baseball, basketball players, track and volleyball, and women's get millions? Charles, I will say this. It is because at almost every school, LSU is an exception because LSU is different. But at almost every school in the country, football is the only sport that makes money. That's why. Football, the success of a football program at a college is the single greatest factor in keeping other sports alive.
Wow. I mean, wow. I don't know what else to say, but wow. I mean, that's where we're going today. Wow. Look. And look, let me tell you what this does. And this is no joke. Okay. This is serious now. What this has done is really effed up the Browns because, and I know Deshaun Watson is, I'm not saying Deshaun Watson is a piece of dog dung and probably should just be released from the face of the NFL planet. But what you've now done with the Cleveland Browns is if you have ensured that it's a 2-horse race next year, and either way you go, if you're the Browns, whether you start Deshaun Watson or you start Shedeur Sanders, if you're a Browns fan and you can cut this out and show it back to me next year if I'm wrong, go ahead, please, by all means. Mark this for later on. Maybe I'll make myself dumbass of the year when we're doing the daddies next year. But you have ensured that the Cleveland Browns have doomed themselves for a bare minimum of next year and probably longer, because there's no question now that they go into next year with those 2 clowns.
What do you mean clowns, Jim? The Cleveland Browns have 2 Pro Bowlers as quarterback options. I'm going to use the shit out of that.
Maybe they thought Shedeur was Dion. Kyle, maybe you're right. Jerry says he would rather play video games. And Jerry, I don't even play video. I haven't played a video game and I'm not exaggerating, at least 15 years, maybe 20. And I would rather play video games for 3 hours than watch the Pro Bowl. Earl says because his name will bring viewers to it. It will also make some people not watch.
I don't think those people were going to watch the Pro Bowl anyway.
You're probably right.
And Charles, so I was saying it's all about the money. Charles, the sooner you realize every decision in life is
everything on planet earth. Sports, no
Especially in the
sports.
entertainment business.
Exactly. If it's about just about anything that's not maybe related to your family, it's about money. UBN says he would rather go sit outside today than watch the Pro Bowl. All right, UBN. I'm giving you two choices. You either watch the Pro Bowl or you go sit outside for 3 hours today, pal.
Oh.
Do it. Tetters is 53, still playing. Hey,
I'm so sorry.
You do you, brother. You do you.
So sorry. You couldn't pay me to play Madden.
I'm completely. I mean that whatever. Barry Ulay's here. Good moment. Sorry. Hence why nobody wanted Sanders. Ryan wants to get the rat in the Pro Bowl.
It's more deserving.
Wow. Charles. I'm not saying you worship money. Of course, you can't take it with. I'm saying that everything on. If you haven't figured this out yet, I know you're like about my age, maybe a tinge older. So between us, I know that we have over a century on this earth. Everything is about money. Period. Everything. Yeah, apathy. Have you seen that Deion's going to start fining players for?
I haven't, but I'm okay with that.
I mean, I saw that the other day. Yeah, I mean, they're getting paid.
Say what you will about Deion as a coach. I think Deion is a motivator and as
I mean, look, he's
a fantastic leader of a program.
You know what? You know who I would probably liken Deion to is in the football coaching realm? Who? Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is a fire-upper, and he's I mean,
the thing that you say about Deion though is I really respect Deion. You can tell he really wants what?
I don't respect Dan Campbell.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I don't respect either of their on-field decisions per se, but you can tell in every clip that comes out and the way that he's run that program, Deion wants the best for the players, and I respect the hell out of any coach who runs a program like that.
By the way, this is absolutely. Here's another reason why you should become a member of the Dattitude podcast if you can afford it. Besides the fact that you're supporting the channel, I didn't talk about this earlier. If you're new, we have memberships, 2 levels of memberships, and for either level, you can become a part of our Slack channel. We will absolutely be talking about this on our Slack channel later today. All right, I only got about 5 more minutes for. I've got to be. The show has to end by 12:30. I got some things I need to do, freelance wise, this afternoon, and some other things that I got to post production. But anyway, so that's. I'm glad you saved that for the end of the show because as pissy as I was in the beginning, and I'm sure when I go look, we're gonna have 1 fewer YouTube subscriber because I made James Choctaw the dumbass of the week. But
Edwin saw UBN's promise and said, I raise you 1 better.
He'll be outside naked under a sprinkler if it's not frozen before he wastes 1 minute of his remaining life watching the prophylactic bowl. Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Edwin? That's the comment. We had the dumbass of the week earlier. Edwin, you win the comment of the day. That's the comment of the day.
Might be the comment of the day, yeah.
All right, what do you want to talk about this morning? You want me to put this slide back up?
There was something I was going to
briefly
bring up, but I don't. Oh, I remember what it was. So, our wonderful dumbass of the week thought it would be fun to just throw Bo Nix stats out there. So let me ask you this, Jim.
Okay.
If you had to guess, there are 42 qualifying quarterbacks in the NFL this year. When you measure their completed air yards per pass attempt, where do you think Bo Nix ranks?
Now you're making me use math.
Where do you think he ranks? 1 to 42.
And what is the category again?
Completed air yards per pass attempt.
So in other words, how far it goes.
The average pass travels.
Oh, that's good. Now this is definitely. I mean, he's. I would say in the bottom 10.
He is in the bottom 10. He ranks 35th out of 42 quarterbacks.
It's not good.
The only people below him: Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Dylan Gabriel, and Brady Cook.
Almost all, not all, but almost all old dudes. Brady Cook qualified?
He did. He was 42nd. He 2.1.
How did he qualify?
It's probably something. There's no qualifiers here, but I would guess it's over 100 pass attempts for the season. That would be my guess because all of
put
these
his
guys
ass in the Pro Bowl.
So Bo Nix ranks 35th at 3 completed air yards per pass attempt. League average is 3.7. That means, and then our wonderful commenter earlier thought that he was striking a nerve with me by saying, oh, so because I called him a check down merchant. He said, so he's basically Drew Brees in his last 3 seasons. That didn't strike a nerve with me, but I like to do research. So I looked it up. Drew Brees never in his career dipped below 3.7 yards. In the 3.7 or 3.8 was in his last season.
That actually kind of surprises me.
Even then,
even when he became noodle arm, he's still better than Bo Nix. Wow. Apathy says, make Aaron Glenn the Pro Bowl coach.
What would they coach? Isn't the Pro Bowl just a skills competition? Oh, it's a flag football game, isn't it?
It is now. I mean, look, I got to be honest. I haven't watched.
I haven't watched a good flag football player.
I haven't watched I haven't watched the Pro Bowl since probably 15 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a long time.
I haven't watched one since they took it out of Hawaii.
I can say I certainly haven't watched it since it hasn't been a game anymore. I could care less that they're having. I mean, I'd rather watch the Olympics. I'm trying to think of a sport. I like because there are some things in the Olympics I actually like.
Would you rather watch soccer or the Pro Bowl?
Oh, soccer. Okay. Soccer or the Pro Bowl? Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, it depends. I'm not going to watch Mozambique play Ireland.
Oh, Jim, you don't know the wonderful tales of AFCON, the African Cup of Nations, the most batshit crazy tournament ever.
But I would 100% watch a lower level World Cup match. Put it this way. It is in the neighborhood of 38 degrees outside right now. I would rather go cover Northlake Christian and Mandeville soccer match this afternoon in this shit than watch the Pro Bowl. That's Jerry says he's on Pro Bowl hiatus continuously.
I think
all right, for us. Mark, and I know we didn't talk a lot. I didn't even do a Saints slide, but the Saints need to upgrade. But no, they're not. They're going to stick with the rat. I think that's pretty clear. I would highly doubt. I think your 2 quarterbacks for next year, or I think your 3 quarterbacks are on this roster because I think that what's his name? Not
Deckers.
Yeah, Hunter Deckers is going to be the 3rd string quarterback. Gabe's starting to know Saints personnel pretty good. All right, what else you got for me before we'll go off the air here this morning?
Nothing. That's all I got.
Pretty good show. Huh? It's an interesting show. I'm telling you, people should. You're missing out if you're not a member yet, and I get it. If you get everything except, I mean, you whatever. I'm not going to force people to be members, but just saying. You want to be in the text, especially today. We're going to have fun with this Shador stuff, I think, later on today. All right, I will probably see you in the chat. I don't know who our guest is at Wednesday, but I'm sure Wednesday will be a lot. I don't even know what the hell we're going to talk about Wednesday, but we'll talk about something, and hopefully I won't be as pissy as I was then. Angus wants. Thank you for the super chat. It's giving $5 to the NIL. Well, Charles, I can't say. I got to be honest. I'm probably not going to give your money to the NIL. I'm probably going to keep it.
I think LSU's got enough NIL donors, even though Brian Kelly would beg you to donate.
Mark, thank you as always. Thank everybody.
Notice you don't see Lane Kiffin. I'm not asking you to like Lane Kiffin because I said that earlier.
Maybe I will eventually.
He's not coached the game. No, I know he's not coached the game yet, but notice Lane Kiffin isn't begging donors for money like Brian Kelly.
No, exactly. I will say this about, and look, he's definitely not. He doesn't have to because he was promised this when he got here. I'm going to say this about Lane Kiffin. I certainly feel differently about Lane Kiffin today than I felt about him probably, let's see, what is it, January 26th? Let's say 8 weeks ago. I definitely feel differently about it. Now, I'm not going goo goo gaga like some of these other people are, but
Yeah, the man has yet to coach a game. Let's bump the brakes.
Exactly. I'm probably going about as far unless he comes up to me when we're at Endymion and I see him there. If I see him there and we have a conversation, who knows? Maybe he'll even be.
What if he calls you the dumbass of the week?
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd have to get that on video. 100%. If he calls me the dumbass of the week, I'm like, hold on. Can you say it again? I'm the dumbass of the week. Right. See you Wednesday.
Sounds good.
Oh, we had a lot of fun today, didn't we? Look, if you're new to this show, I mean, come on, man. I know I'm not for everybody. I get it. I'm not for everybody. It is what it is. But I'm here. I'm for a lot of people. I mean, one thing I could promise you is, I saw something as we go off the air. My final thought of the day. I saw a long form interview with Matt Moscona, and those of you know here, I really do respect Matt. Y'all may not agree with what Matt says sometimes in his opinions, and y'all don't agree with my opinions. But one thing about Matt Moscona, and which is what I try to do on this show, and why I watched this entire interview about who Matt is in his life and things I didn't know, and he's been on this show multiple times. I respect that he is 100% genuine. You may not even like 70% of what he says, but Matt is 100% genuine. And he said, they're asking him like things that he likes and doesn't like or whatever. And he talks about how he's got to be him. And I started thinking about that. I don't know. I think I saw it Saturday night before I was going to bed or whatever. I was flipping through YouTube or whatever, and I came across it and I watched it. And not just for me, for everybody out there. I would suggest this for everybody. And it's the key. If this show has any chance of being like super successful, I already think it's successful. If we only have 3 more shows and that's the end of the run, it's not. But if that's the end of the run, it's been successful. And because when I aired show number 1, I would have bet a lot of money we weren't going to make episode number 468 or 470 or wherever the hell we go. Okay. So for that, it's been successful alone. But for me, I was thinking over the weekend is, I think I've kind of backed off over the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks over I've worried about too much about what people think of me, I think. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But I ain't doing that. If you're a subscriber, no matter who you are, if you're a subscriber, if you're here for the first time, if you're here for the 468th time, and you say something I think is stupid, I'm going to tell you. If you're here for the first time and you say something I think is fantastic and it's a great comment, I'm going to tell you I think it's fantastic. And that's what I'm going to start doing more of. There have been, I think since I've gone independent, especially over the past 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it is that we began to monetize the show, and I'm trying to support myself and hopefully eventually give Gabe some money, I know this sounds crazy considering I say some wild ass stuff sometimes, but I think I've said, you know what? I don't want to piss too many people off. I just don't care anymore. I'm going back to what this show is supposed to be in Dattitude, and I'm going to tell you the way that I think that it is. And if you say something stupid, then I'm going to tell you I think it's stupid. If you say something great, I think it's great. Mitch Bergeron says, I made my thoughts on Kiffin pretty clear. Was he on my list of possible LSU candidates no matter how far down? Oh, of course he was. I mean, you can go back, Mitch, and watch back when Koki wasn't on the show. Mike Detillier was on the show. We're talking about absolutely 100%. I tell you, he was. I mean, I'm not going to be hip. I'm not going to tell you something that's not true on the show. He was clearly LSU's number 1 target from the get-go. I don't think I realized it as soon as everyone else did, or maybe I didn't want to realize it. But I've always talked about him being a candidate. Earl says he would rather watch the Jamaican bobsled. Well, I would rather watch the Jamaican bob. I actually enjoy that. I enjoy bob. I enjoy the Winter Olympics, I think, more than I enjoy the Summer Olympics. I watch more of the Winter Olympics than the Summer Olympics. I love the bobsled. I like speed skating. I like the what's the game where they brush? With the brush. Gabe, help me out here. The game where they rush. What is it? The game, just tell me.
Curling.
Curling, that's it. Thank you. I love curling. Phil says he enjoyed the show. Some terrific comments. Yeah, there were some great comments. Jerry, thank you. Awesome show. Thank you so much. Curling. There you go, Brian. Help me out. Just cool runnings. It was a good show. But I just think I'm going off on a tangent here. You know what I mean? Sometimes I piss people off when I make opinions that are not with the public sentiment. I mean, that's one thing on the show. If I am with you, if I am with the public sentiment, you're going to know that I'm not just saying this to please people. Because I know I'm in the minority, like Lane Kiffin. I was in the minority. I'm coming around. I'm coming around. Like Gabe said, hasn't coached the game yet. Coming around. Got to see more. But anyway, that's what this show is going to be more of as we go forward. If you like that and you want to support us, you know how to do it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I get it. I'm not for you. I understand. That's kind of where I am right now. And I just wanted to make that clear. I saved that for the end of the show. Some days I'm going to be in a fiery mood like I was today. Some days Gabe and I are going to laugh for half of a show. Sometimes I'm going to have a guest on and it's going to be all guest and I'm not going to really say a lot except in my monologue. And who knows? You never know what you're going to get on the show. We know that Monday is Mono-y Monday and it's you and it's me and it's Gabe and that's it. That's what today is. Wednesday's guest day. Friday has been Zach. And I don't know if it's going to be up to Zach. If Zach still wants to come on Fridays after the Super Bowl, that's up to him. He will be welcome here. So I don't know. But that's what this show is. And we can't do any of this without you. And we thank you. But that is going to do it for us on this Monday. I've long-winded myself 7 minutes past the time that I said I was going to go off the air, and I knew I was going to do that anyway. But thanks to all of you for your comments today. There were hundreds of comments today. Fantastic comments. Whether you're watching live or listening after the fact, we thank you. I do not know who our guest is for Wednesday. As soon as I know, I will let you know on X as I did last week when we had Ross. It's probably going to be it actually might be LSU related this week. We'll see where we go. We may take a week. I mean, we're still talking about Saints a little bit if you want, but probably going to be LSU related this week. We'll see. LSU baseball's not too far away from starting. We'll probably be talking about that a little bit. I haven't talked about LSU women's basketball. We haven't got to talk about Lane Kiffin, whatever. So it may be LSU centric. We'll see. Reminder, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the Dattitude YouTube page. Click the little bell. You'll always know when we go on the air live, which is generally Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, live at 11 a.m. Central Time. Although I am going to take giving you a heads up, during Mardi Gras, I am going to take some time off. I have not had any. I've taken a couple of days here and there, but after the Super Bowl, I am going to take a little time off. We'll figure out our schedule coming up soon, and we'll let you know when that's going to be. So anyway, click the little bell. You'll always know when we go on the air live. Give us a thumbs up, a like. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, and many more. We will see you all on Wednesday. And until then, you know what it is. Take it easy, my friends.